Alright, so question and answer time. Got a few questions today off my page. I actually asked if people wanted to have any questions to answer. And first off, before I start, let me say it's just nice to have energy to answer questions. Because I look back at some of my contest vlogs before, and I feel sorry for you guys watching those, because I look like this drawn out zombie, and I'm just like, yeah, my training's going real good, and I'm tired, like, all the time. I have no energy at all. But that's pretty much every video. And so it's good to actually be full and actually get pumps in the gym, because I'm off season now. So but I am mini cutting to kind of keep it tidy, and I'm sitting around 10 pounds average, or actually closer to 12 pounds, yeah, around 10 or 12, lighter than last off season, so feels good. But yeah, so the first question is basically what he says that my buddy Sean Taft is saying what the most recommended ab exercise would be. He knows that they're made in the kitchen, but what do I like to exercise with, or how do I like to exercise them? I like support movements, or should I say non-movements, because I like planks and things like that that are actually using your core and how it's supposed to be, instead of your because all of this around you is basically keeping your upper body from just doing this number like that, or flipping any way. So it's keeping you upright the entire time. So anything like squats and deadlifts and other free weight stuff, my abs always get sore when I do any type of tricep extension, like heavy ones. So because I'm like this and I'm bending forward a little bit to counterbalance the weight and then holding myself there and I'm extending, always makes my abs sore just holding that. I also like doing rope, kind of a pull down rather than a crunch. I kind of sit back and move my hips back, so I'm pulling more with my my sartorius and my hip flexors, and kind of holding my abs solid the entire time. And I do those pretty heavy. Basically for my back lately, I've been doing a lot of planks to stabilize my whole core, and basically zero crunch type stuff. Don't do any of that. I do 3 sets, 1 exercise a week. I think Eric Helms doesn't even do any. And I think there's an article he wrote a while back about doing ab exercises and not curling at the spine, and actually that could be detrimental and not so helpful to your abs. But that they're supporting is what they're supposed to be doing. So I don't do a whole lot of ab work. They are just from low body fat pretty much, and from doing free weights. The next one is related to, should I be tracking calories rather than macronutrients, because he noticed that when he's tracking his macros, his calories are off. So if he tracks his calories and knows that he's supposed to hit this number, he's thinking that he's going to avoid all of these inaccuracies. The thing is, if you have a set number of macros and you hit those every day, the calories in that are already inherent within the numbers that you chose. So a certain number of fat, carb, and protein, if you track those, is always going to be the same amount of calories at the end of the day, because fat is always 9 calories a gram, and protein carbs are always 4 calories a gram. So if you already know your calories, you've got a reference point, and you already know your macros. Once you know your macros, you just have to manipulate that according to your goals. And the calories are a given thing. So the inaccuracies are coming from your calories being off from the macros that are on your food. So I would worry really about making sure that your macro numbers are correct according to the weight on the food. And if those are correct, your calories really don't matter. As long as your grams and your macros are there every day and you're being consistent with that, that's what counts. And the last one, Jerry Brock says, I'm 150 pounds and 6'2". Should I bulk or cut? Not sure if serious on that one. But the other question he had is how much to do on a refeed, or should you just stuff calories? Basically, this is kind of varies by person how you react to carbs, and also how drawn out and empty you are, or how lean you are. Obviously, the lower your numbers get, the higher your refeed can be in respect to your low days. So when you get lower, like in the 200 carb range, your refeed might be closer to 50 or 75% of your low days number. Where I was 200 on my low days, my refeeds were 350 ish, around there. And then when in the beginning, when my carbs were higher, since you're not being as flat and drawn out, and you're not as lean, you don't need the carbs as much. In the beginning of my prep, they were my low days were 350, and then my high days were 500. So that's less than 50% in the beginning. So usually it's somewhere in the range of there, like anywhere from 30 to 70% ish. But I know Jeff Alberts has done 1,000 carb refeed. I remember the picture. It's hilarious, like 30 rice cakes, like around that tall, and a little bowl of like protein fluff, and he was just dipping it in there, and that was crazy day. I think he just did that to have fun. Really, I don't think he needed it. I think he said it was a little excessive later on, but yeah, you can. I know Kevin Riley is a metabolic freak, kind of like Berto has crazy carb numbers. So it really depends. And it's very, very helpful when you're getting leaner. But if you're doing it around once a week, which is kind of typical, usually it's around there. It's kind of moderate, just like a big added chunk of carbs, and then take off a little bit of fat, a little bit of protein, and kind of compensate for the calories, and you should be golden. But I think that about does it. So yeah, subscribe if you want. Ask questions on here or on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/naturalfirminator. Go like that if you want. I'm 2 away from 500, which is crazy. I don't know why you're liking, but it's cool. So I'm just going to keep doing my thing. But yeah, things are going pretty well other than that. So keep asking your questions, and we'll see how it goes later.